You're supposed to do it. You're supposed to fill pump full of water. That way you have plenty of weight on the thing.
How'd that radio work?
I'll bring fire. Bob. One man job up here.
Yeah, you can use your eye pressure now with that and clean at the same time, Bob.
You get up and you get down, you break her up, and you drive your pickup by, and you turn around, you drive past the other way. Baby's clean. What's this, another one?
No, pipe hole.
They're going to come back to me at the time. I can't see that. That's your I mean,
Attic ladder.
and we run down there.
Adapters, I think, back in here. Downstairs, deluge. No, we're gonna take.
You see how it's set in there, Bob? You see how it's set in there, generator? Just pull one pin and let it go.
$8 for a diesel motor. These are bad.
I'm about ready to in a bit.
We didn't order purple and yellow. We were always all right.
Then we were in the bar.
That's an access on the top flat.
That's how we get up there and the ladder off, huh?
No, that's something.
Even still,
I just like to that way you guys can take
I got over to Frankfurt on the 14th to see them. And what day?
They were good. Well, maybe help. We just like throwing it.
Sucker full of water.
Could be.
How do you get into that motor there?
It hasn't seen many fires, It's just for a quick one. Instead of running to the back of the truck, back and forth.
All kind of box.
There's the bells, that's through on these, couple of them if you want them to sit.
Down there, your number 2 is straight back of it back here, and number 3 is straight back over here on the rear. Everything that discharges on this side of the truck, control levers are over here. Everything that discharges on this side, which you only have one, is over here. Your orange ones are your cross lays, 1 and 2, which are labeled on the side. 1's first, 2's second. Try to remember that so you don't get your butt wet underneath.
These are labeled also on the back.
On the back. They're also labeled right by the discharge.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So one thing, I don't know, that we've preached and tried to teach is, you guys go to pull off a line that's hooked to that, yell what you're pulling. You know, at first. I thought, yeah, I got number 2, you know, so then you know, oh, I got over 2 when he's ready.
Oh,
you know, so forth
okay,
and so on. Or
yeah.
yell, I got number 3 or whatever.
Yep.
Oh, he's got what he's ready. This is the tank to pump. That's the water you feed from the tank into the pump. This is tank fill and recirculate. What you can do basically is circulate water like this, or if you're drafting, you can fill your tank with this.
So if we're going down the road and we want to circulate.
You want to pull these 2 right here.
Where do we start the motor at?
You start the motor right here. Get your choke. What's that? Get your tune up.
There ain't a Ford, is it?
Well, I only took 1 choke.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're circulating right now?
Yeah. I don't know how much yet. We'll see. We got a little air in there for running empty. So don't you have to pull your tank as well? Oh, I pulled the wrong line. Now we are.
You don't want to discharge, right?
Well, I'll leave that open just a little bit. Let some water run in there for a while. Then I won't leave.
Hook the caps on the end.
I did. I went and checked. Right now we're circulating water. I don't know how long we want to run this in here.
We can pop the door and then I'll put it after.
Yeah, we could pop the door a little bit. Yeah, we're circulating water right now.
And you're telling that by this gate.
You want to open that door just a little bit, guys?
What are we doing here?
We got some water going back in our number 2 because that's open.
Yeah.
But see, now we got it shut down. Okay, that's all.
And it'll still be under pressure.
Yeah, see, now, yeah. Now we got to remember to drain that back. There's a drain underneath it. We'll pop that again.
It'll drain.
Speak up a little, Donnelly. We can't get this.
Okay.
We'll put this on film.
Okay, your pump cooling line, all that is, it's on right now, is another recirculating line. It's a 3/8 line that runs from your pump to your tank. And if someone was to shut down all their lines and you didn't have your recirculate open, it lets water go somewhere so water doesn't spin in the pump and boil. Your engine cooling is basically all it is you got your cooler down here with your antifreeze running through your coil from your, you can see it if you look right through there, from your radiator to your engine, from your engine to your radiator, and then there's a coil inside where pump water runs through and cools the radiator water as it goes through. In real hot days, you can use it like this time of year, you can clean it off. Basically, radiator shutters, wintertime out, and which, like for this time of year, right now, we'll see if it heats up. Right now, I'd leave that shut, because when you take off your fire, you're going to have water level gauges right there. These here we went through with some of the guys earlier, that's ratio 1 to 1. What that is for a mechanical tap for UL test and so on and so forth and so on. Same with these are your test gauges to make sure these gauges are working right. Panel light switch, electric primer switch. Let me shut this down. Electric primer switch right there to prime it with. You can prime it without even being started if you want. If you're going to draft out of a tank, you can prime it without starting it. The trick too is when it starts it, you might have to hit it again a little bit because you'll move a little air or something. See, either way, best way to prime it is at an idle. When you're idle, prime it. Relief valve, we'll have to warm her up some to get her wound up to do that. I think you've got refilled on your city trucks. It's basically the same way. There's a relief valve alert button here to tell you what's what. Your 2.5 inch gauges, which all you have is gauges is on your 2.5s on this one, is directly above the levers for that. You have a master discharge gauge which tells you basically the same thing, but you can vary these for your 2.5 And you have an intake gauge so you can tell vacuum or what your hydrant pressure is, basically. Oil pressure, temperature, and battery gauges up there. Basically, that's the control panel. In here, for service, you've got on your relief valve, there's emergency override relief valve on a Darley pump. What that basically comes down to, if something ever happens to the relief valve and you want to keep full power maximum pumping, you turn this in and override your relief valve. It slides the pistons open is all it does. That's all that's for, if this ever fails. And you'll be able to tell if that ever fails. For your primer, it's an oil primer, you know, electric vein oil primer. Always keep that tank full right there.
30 weight?
20 weight non-detergent is recommended, anything will do. Stay away from automatic transmission fluid because it really gets foamy on you and it doesn't work real good. But I've seen guys use it in an emergency. So that's what's recommended. Anything will work, it won't hurt. If it does, it's under warranty.
30 years?
Yeah, well,
Could you say that a little louder? It's under warranty.
Yeah, a little louder on that.
Just don't show them what kind of oil you used in it, by the way. It's 20 weight non-detergent. Tell me that when I come, that's all I want to know. A little lesson in that. That's the only thing. Pump has lifetime warranty on it. Basically, body has a 5-year warranty on it. Tank's got a 20-year warranty on it. Everything else. That's right. Everything else that's on here that belongs to somebody or built by somebody is warranted by them for minimum. Other than that, that's basically all it is. Does anybody have any questions on anything we're missing?
You can close it down anytime you want.
Yeah.
I guess the biggest thing is getting familiarized and going through with it.
800 gallons a minute with the 4.5. You have to shut everything down, hook it up, and then draft. We talked about this one time. We said we'll see what happens later. We someday should get a quarter turn valve to put on there. So when you're pumping out of the tank, you can be hooking your hard suction up. See what I'm saying? At the same time. We talked about it one time.
Oh, what's your process to go through drafting? From the time you hooked your hard suction up, you hooked up to one of these?
Okay, when you hook
Okay,
your hard
I've got
suction
my-
up, now you have to shut everything down. Take the cap off and hook the hard suction
Okay.
up.
Okay, I've got that done now.
Okay. All you got the cap hooked up.
Got the
You want
hose
to prime
on.
it first thing, so you keep everything shut down for fastest prime. At an idle is fine, or without. You just pull it till you hit. You'll hear it hit. There, you hear it hit a little bit there.
Yeah, okay.
Till you hit water, you'll hear it
Okay,
hit.
so now I've got it primed.
Never hold it for over a minute. Now you got it primed. You crank her up just a little bit to make sure you got a little pressure on there, and then you open whatever lines you got going where, and just throttle up a little bit at a time to watch it, so you don't want to get carried away and overdo it. And if you're going to 2.5, you want to kind of wind it up pretty good while you're going along. Because at the first jolt to get the air out of it, if you haven't been pumping out of this tank and this pump's dry, you'll get an airlock in there and you'll lose prime in her. Then you idle down and then you pedal around to her.
There's no valve to open then for drafting.
For drafting, not unless you hook to the 2.5, which I don't you have any 2.5-inch hard suction on here anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. That's something I'd like to see you get someday, but later on when you play, you'll probably pick one up.
2.5?
No, a 4.5-inch butterfly valve on the outside.
Oh, yeah.
Large intake. You'll see how handy it is. That's all she really is to her. There's a
pretty
heat
well-
pan underneath. Take it off in the summer and put it back on, or take it off in the spring and put it back on in the fall.
The heat pan?
The heat pan.
She get too hot leaving her on,
It's
huh?
well, it gets out to 110 and stuff like that. Yes, I can.
Never ever took it off there. Well, of course, this
So you were
this has
PTO
got
and
an extra.
this got an
Yeah.
extra engine.
Yeah, let's go through it once.
Okay,
See how it works.
I'll get
In
one.
that
I seen
compartment
it.
back,
Yeah, I
okay.
seen where
Get one,
they're
and then
at.
grab an 1.5-inch nozzle. You asked me
About that heat pan.
okay, that heat pan, all this, flip a lever and slide it up underneath. You see it, it's a, looks like a piece of aluminum. You just flip it up and slide it up.
What does that deal mean where it says do not exceed 100 PSI?
Well,
Okay,
your nozzle
turn
is
her
set at 100 PSI, so your nozzle's at 100 PSI. So all you have to have is about 110 to get to there.
Hey, Gordy, he said it's kind of like that decal right
Yeah.
there.
Now she'll probably shoot 2 blocks.
We can shoot
But that's basically what it means. You don't want to, to make your nozzle work right with the right pattern, you don't get over 100 PSI.
It's like air guns.
Reasonable now.
You can adjust this too. I set this. If you want it to go lower, all you do is loosen this and
Oh, I see.
turn
Okay.
that down. I set that.
Yeah, that'd have to be
If you want it lower,
that'd have to be a little bit
It
lower.
was lower, and I
You
moved
run
it
the
up like
fire
that. I
line.
don't know why. I just thought I was being.
Should be going out quite a ways.
See, if I wouldn't have moved that, I couldn't have given
We
nobody
don't
no
wanna
shit in
get
the shop.
We don't want to get our new truck too close to the fire, we'll burn the paint.
We spent 40 miles an hour.
Drive son of a bitch and put out, you wouldn't have to
Shit,
get too close.
the last grouse fire they caught is
Probably
40 and the
try
fire
it
caught up
once,
to him.
experiment with it.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot right down. I
Is there
hope we
anything
never
else
get
I
that
missed?
close.
Anything you guys can think of that I
Of
left
course,
out?
it'd be nice, it'd
Yeah,
be good if
it's nice
that's
to have-
they're not real
Yeah.
No, but they're close. You know, they're close
Yeah, you'd
enough.
have
When it
better
gets
control.
when it comes down to that quarter light goes off, you haven't got all that far to empty.
There you go, your hand.
Catch any low-flying aircraft, couldn't you?
Yeah.
I see there's no beer in any of the compartments.
Well, I said first we train, then we drink. There's always rules to everything.
Well, you was gonna go through that relief valve deal?
Okay, it's hard to do this way. I'll show you. Like, we'll just do it now. I'll show you. It's hard to do because we're not moving a lot of water right now. I can make it jump doing this too because I'm not moving a lot of water and I'm under the pressure. See, I'm hitting it now. That's why I'm making it jump. A little more water than I'm thinking though. That's working good tonight. See, all you're doing, now for instance, if I wanted, we're going to stop here. If I wanted 90 pounds of pressure there, and I went to shut, see it's going to hold at 90, it won't exceed. Or a yield bearing 5 gallons. We're not moving enough water to be real accurate on, but basically what you do is you got so much line run out. You got so much line run out. We're going to turn this up a little higher too, so it'll really screw you up when it goes start. You heard the buzzer ring. You go out and you sit here and you're cranking up and they're yelling more water, and you hear that buzzer. Now you'll know why the buzzer's on there. Because your relief valve's set too low, so you're pulling back on the pressure. So all you got to do is for higher pressure, you go higher, for lower pressure, you go lower.
But do you guys shut that down to adjust that then?
No,
You can do that.
You can do it. You can wind her up and let her beep till you want, then you can turn this up. And another thing is, it's just like any moving part, any mechanical part. If that's sitting beeping, you can see they're not going to start another line back up, throttle down to match it. So the beeper isn't beeping anymore because it's another moving part. It's just something to wear faster. You know. Just explain that for us. This drains it out, so it gets the sand and poop out of it. This
Out of your pump?
out of your pump and stuff.
Okay.
So you hear the water run on the
Yeah.
floor, it's coming from this. There's a screen in here, if it ever does get all sand and stuff, you can pull it out and check. You should, basically what they recommend doing is checking it once a month, but that's on severe occasions. But it don't hurt, and it really don't take you long to take it out, you know.
Something to check after you got back from the fire.
Yeah, it's good to do it. You gotta screw this at the same time to get this all to go in action. When you get this down a ways, then tighten
You
this.
get web water in there, it won't hurt a thing.
Yeah, then you gotta get fish scales
You
out.
get lion's
don't you?
water in there, then you get the sand out.
Use that drop tank with Wilson's hauling. They could have a little bit of sand left.
Cement.
Cement left in there.
That's a good thing to check. Always check that after a big fire. Always check your primer oil. Always check your primer oil, because if you're without that, then you can't prime it. And the best way, that's like I said, it don't take much of it, but the best way to keep it's full, because then you
Is that
can
a
prime
gallon
forever.
tank? I didn't
Yeah,
see.
it's a gallon tank. Best way to keep
That screws all, just screw it right, screw it all the way down.
Screw it all the way down, yeah, both knobs. See,
Okay.
this just flushes it, just lets the water run out, and then see when it'll come and hit. I grabbed both of them and then show you. This will come and hit, but to get that out of there now, you got to start turning this. Plus, there's more threads on this yet. So remember to crank it out.
That seems pretty simple.
The primer, all the primer is, if you guys know what the inside of an air motor looks like, all primers are this way. All three majors, maybe the 4 majors make them now. It's just an air vane, like an air vane primer inside of it with vanes on it. And it sits in, off center in the side of it. And then it's just electric starter, turn it. And then it turns it backwards instead of blowing air in to make an air motor, it turns it backwards and creates vacuum. And then the oil is what keeps it tight around the edges. So that's what makes fire. Never pull that for over a minute at a time. 60 seconds is forever hanging on to that son of a gun. You'll know you're hanging on too long. And then let it little rest and hit it again. More than likely, the only reason it isn't priming is because either one of your fittings aren't tight on your hose, or the gasket's loose in there, or for some reason the valve isn't shut somewhere. Get this baby running. Get her wound up to about, I always try 1100 RPMs because they're running better, and I pull tank, pump the tank, recirculate, see that? Run around and jump in the truck and away you go.
That motor runs off our fuel tank
Yes, it
here.
does.
There's no auxiliary fuel tank for this particular motor.
By the time you run her out of gas, for instance, 50 gallons, if it ain't out by then, you just well call it a fuel truck for everything. So
Yeah.
there's drains, they're called UL drains, if you'll see them. They're on the end of each 2.5. UL requires them there. The reason for that is you got automatic nozzles too. If you got a charged line, you can pop that drain and get the pressure off the line. It's all there for. They drain everything past the valve. I don't drain anything that way because I pull my master drain. If like I go to a fire in the wintertime, I'm out of water, I can't run this, right? I don't want to run it home dry and it ain't gonna do any good anyway. I pull my master drain and I pull these back like I had them when I come in here and leave them half open. Pull them all the way once and turn them back up. It don't hurt to leave them all the way open for that matter, because when you come back, put everything back together.
Any questions, guys? You got it.
Basically,
Any other questions you got?
even when
got
your brain's unlocked when you get here, take a second to read things what's in front of you. You know.
Yeah.
Everything's there, but everything's pretty set. The service and all that. So all that's there. If everything's failing you and it isn't working right, you got to think. I'm trying to think of something. You always get calls the next couple days afterwards. Well, why don't this work or something? It's something I forget to tell you. And I can't think of anything in general right now I missed, but there will be something, I'm sure. But if sometimes you wind the truck up and you can't get pressure, shut down your pump or your pump cooling and stuff like that, and try all that first. If you're, I've had guys call and say my tank's running over all the time and must have a valve leak. Usually it's this right here. Turn it off. Your pump cooling's open. Check that first and things like that. It's just little things. But it don't hurt to call in. Don't be scared to call. But like I said, there is things we forget to tell you. We're sure glad to talk to you.
You got your 800 number up here on there?
Yeah, it's on.
I was looking for. We just want to get a new truck.
That sucker's a reject right there. I got her on tape.
You're caught now. You're caught now.